Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. God bless Reverend Ujiri. She's been a blessing to our family. She's a good or a great disciple of Father and Mother Moon, and I'm honored and very delighted to be with you this morning. Can you all hear me back there? Okay. Well, in this great conference this past month in Seoul, we saw preachers and world leaders, political leaders from 77 nations. And every African country was represented, either by a former president or a member of their parliament or high-ranking government officials from Europe, from Latin America, almost all nations of Latin America too. And the whole theme in this divided world, the whole theme was one nation, one global family, one global family under God, ado. And it was so beautiful, sometimes brought tears, really. Preachers, nuns, Muslims, Christians, Buddhists, Hindus, Jewish rabbis. It's so beautiful, brothers and sisters. It's so beautiful to see in this divided world a great leader, Mother Moon, carrying in the footprints of a great husband and having been the best supporter of that great human being, bringing or doing for the world, for peace in the world, for brotherhood, for love in the world, more than any nations, and I could add probably more than the whole United Nations. Just imagine seeing a rabbi and a Muslim sheikh hug and kiss on both cheeks and say, I love you. If you were, like I am, born in the Middle East, where there was so much hatred between Arabs and Jews, between Christians and Muslims, and then you go to such a conference called for by Mother Moon and see the love that flows all over the place, the hugs of those who never trusted one another or each other. You rejoice and know that, as we saw in this beautiful presentation by this lovely lady, you forgive, you confess your mistakes, you retract, you say, forgive me. The best 3 words during that whole conference was, I love you, and maybe thank you, and maybe God bless you. You know, the biggest trouble today, the biggest problems on earth today are in the Middle East. And to see Jews and Christians, or Jews and Muslims, get together so well in that conference. It does bring tears of joy to your eyes. And how much today we need this kind of leadership that Mother Moon, through the leadership of Father Moon, is doing for the world today. How much America needs it today. We don't even talk to each other in Congress. We talk at one another in Congress. Last month, a dear man called Reverend Michael Jenkins, president of UPF, along with his lovely wife, Reverend Jenkins too, visited my home in Lakewood. And I showed them to the south, Pikes Peak. And I said, that's where the song America the Beautiful was written. Oh, beautiful for spacious skies, for amber waves of grain. You know, and then we say, America, America, God shed his grace on thee and crowned thy good with brotherhood. Where is the brotherhood today? Reverend True Father Moon was told by Jesus Christ, go to America, wake them up. At the height of the Vietnam War, Reverend Moon left his country and came to America. I told Brother Mike Balcom, a friend of mine, a brother of mine in the Universal Peace Federation, we should give every member of Congress today the speeches and the writings of Father Moon when he came to America in the 70s, telling us, love each other, love one another, live for the sake of others, honor America. Long before President Reagan called America the shining city on the hill, Reverend Moon said, this America is the promised land. America is God's country. Love it, serve it, save it. And you know, unfortunately, may God forgive us, we put that man in jail. I personally apologized to Mother Moon. I kissed her hand. It's an honor to touch her. I kissed her hand. I said, I love you. May God forgive our country for having done what we did to your husband. He spent so much money touring America by bus, telling the American people, wake up, love your country. This is such a blessed country. And if you have been around the world like he's been around the world, and forgive me to put myself with him, I am way down here, but I've been around the world. There's no place on the face of this earth that is as blessed, as beautiful, as rich, as generous, as kind, and as strong as God has made this country. And Reverend Moon knew it so well. And many Americans, unfortunately, take it for granted rather than listening to this great man who is in heaven now and take it in gratitude. I fell in love with that man, and I love Mother Moon, and I'm honored to say I have been so positively affected by them, and Reverend Ujiri knows I have shared with her where I was in the past in terms of what I thought about Jews or Muslims or whatever. But I heard his words: live for the sake of others. Love. Love. We're all brothers. We're all, regardless of race, color, ethnic origin, or religion, we're one global family under God. And everybody says, Adu. You know, I spoke in South Korea a number of times. I've been there 5 times, 6 times. And I told them one time, just speaking to Koreans alone, I said 70 years ago, that's last year, I said 70 years ago, America sent its forces to save your country. And 50 years ago, Korea sent us a great man called Reverend Sun Myung Moon to tell the American people, wake up and thank God for your country. And as you pick America's fruits, care about the roots. Show gratitude for the men and women who served in our armed forces. Show gratitude for those who sacrificed. Look at the past, the sacrifices of our forefathers and what they did to make America so great, so strong, so rich, so generous, and so kind, that never in the history of man has there been a nation that has done so much to protect the freedoms of others. America's men and women have gone to faraway countries, not to enslave and to conquer and to occupy and to imperialize, but to free people and fight for their freedom and for their well-being. Our aid programs are the greatest in the world. This is, as Reverend Moon said, this is God's country, and we should love it, serve it, and save it. And I'll close by saying, as I say quite often when I speak for UPF, on whose board now I serve on the board of UPF, appointed by Reverend Michael Jenkins, the president of UPF USA. I say I've been a senator in my state and a representative in the House of Representatives in my state. And I've been an ambassador for 2 great presidents, Ronald Reagan and George H.W. Bush, not W, George H.W. Bush. But I am most proud of being an ambassador appointed by Reverend Sun Myung Moon and Mrs. Moon. God bless you, and God bless America, and thank you very much.